to Mid-Morning Talk with me, Julie Ali, and we are now talking with Mohammed Amien Minty. He is the current chairman of the Forswick Muslim Youth Organization. It is known as FMYO, and I must say I was absolutely staggered when I read that this organization was founded way back in 1959. So alhamdulillah, it does indicate that our community is very proactive, and they saw a need for these type of organizations way back, and this organization is still running. Assalamu alaikum to you, Mohammed Amien Minty. Welcome to the program. Nice to have you on the show.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all the listeners and Salam Media.
Okay, so when did you get involved? I didn't realize that the organization has been running for that long. I mean, what, almost 70 years? Would I be correct in saying
Yeah,
70 years?
you're correct. The founding member was late Musa Laher and a few of his friends. They formed the Forswick Muslim Youth Organization. And I was a very young lad at the age of about 18 when I joined FMYO.
Okay.
And it's been a great journey with them.
Let's talk about when this organization was formed, the work they did, and what was the focus way back then. And have you found that over time the focus has changed perhaps?
Maybe the focus has changed a little bit, but generally it was to help the poor, to do parcels and give out parcels and do cemetery work, which was the founding work of the FMYO. It's always been that. We've added the medical section now to FMYO, where we give beds and medical equipment. So it's a new section that we started about 4 or 5 years ago, and Allah Shukr, it's been doing very well.
Let's look at community involvement, because I'm going to come to a very worrying situation a little later on in the program. But currently, how important is it for the community to be aware of what you are doing? Do they, in fact, reach out for support and services? And more importantly, we need to get our youth involved in this type of work. Are you finding that people are energized enough to become involved with you? And we know that most people on the committee and the foundation are all doing it voluntarily.
Well, basically, everybody is volunteers on the FMYO committee. We have a lot of young people that we're trying to bring in so that at least the organization can carry on the work that it is doing. We do a lot of work at the moment. I mean, the most important work I think at the moment is running of the cemeteries, which is very important. And one needs to understand that what we are doing in the cemetery, I mean, it's the nuclear cemetery and the West Park Cemetery, which FMYO is solely responsible for. That is the maintenance of the cemetery, the cleaning, getting the graves ready for funerals, and us to make sure that that section does run.
I came across a quite a disturbing message last week, and that's the reason why we're talking with you this morning. And this is due to the financial constraints that FMYO is facing currently. Undoubtedly, there are a lot of people in our community who do dig deep into their pockets and make meaningful contributions so that you can carry on the sterling work that is being done by your organization. But this is particularly with regard to the costs of burials, number one, and number two, the other issue being that that is very disturbing for me and should be for most people, is that the cemeteries are filling up very fast. There may not be space at the end of this year, possibly at West Park Cemetery for burials.
Well, basically, let me explain to you, we short of a lot of funds in the cemetery because one's got to understand when somebody passed away, we charge a fee of 6,500 rand. 3,500 rand goes to council. The balance is for coffin and whatever there is. That grave or in the graveyard, the whole cemetery has to be looked after for the rest of that life. I mean, the point is, we don't get any other money from council or anybody else unless the public gives us money to maintain the cemetery. The cost at the moment to maintain the cemetery, that is to dig the graves, to clean the graves, to clean the cemeteries and do all that at West Park and Nuclear. We look at an average fee of about 200,000 a month. That's what we got to, the people that we've got working and so on. If you work out the amount of funerals that we have in a month and how much money we need, I'll be honest with you, at the moment, FMYO, as far as cemetery is concerned, we are in the red. We don't have money. I need to go to people, to the public, basically people that are well off and say, please, I need money. And this cannot happen. This can't go on. It's not a matter of now, but it's for future and for the future. People, we leave a legacy behind for whoever is going to take over in FMYO, that there's money there. I have come up with an idea and I hope it can work, where I'm looking for a 200 Rand debit order. And if I get 5,000 people to give me 200 Rand in Johannesburg every month, which would give us about R1 million, and we would be able to look after all the new cemeteries that we're getting, plus the old cemeteries, including even Lenasia. We could look after that and bring that to really to a better state. Because the council doesn't have money. I mean, the council just don't have any money. Whenever we go there, which they're supposed to do, they don't do it. If you take lights, everything else, even in the Kabristan, even at West Park, all the lights, everything has been funded by FMYO. And the point is we need to make sure that happens. Secondly, as far as the cemetery goes, the cemetery, yes, it will be full. By end of this year, there's definitely West Park will be full. We will be going to Allendale, to Diepsloot, Olifants, part of Lenasia, my Asia. So we'll go to those cemeteries. West Park, yes, we will be starting to do reburials. We can rebury after 1 year. And we can bury, I would say we could easily bury 7 people in one grave, maybe even more. At Nuclear, 4 people. So inshallah, we will have a lot of graves still available in reburials, but not new graves. New graves definitely will be full by end of this year.
Okay, I want to expand more on the issue regarding reburials, and of course the issue around the differences, the amount of people that can be buried in old graves. Why is there a disparity between West Park and Nuclear? But let's get back to that right after our first ad break. Please stand by.
Salam Media. This is Salam Media, coming to you live from South Africa.
They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, yet many children go to school hungry because of poverty. Penny Appeal South Africa's Breakfast Club aims to get a warm, hearty meal to underprivileged children so they can spend their day prospering in their schoolwork. Help feed a needy learner for only 5 Rand a day, or 150 Rand a month. Or visit our website www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573 to find out how you can donate. Penny Appeal South Africa. Small change, big difference. When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Albeit Lodge, your true home away from home. Albeit is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities. Conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities, your stay will be truly unforgettable as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Albeit has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albeitlodge.co.za.
Yasin Badat Financial Advisory. Are your financial goals feeling out of reach? Yasin Badat Financial Advisory is here to turn your aspirations into achievements. Our dedicated team, armed with a history of success, is ready to guide you through the complex nature of financial and investment planning. Whether you're a seasoned investor or new to the game, our personalized solutions cater to your unique goals and risk appetite. Trust in our commitment to transparency, integrity, and excellence. Ready to unlock a world of financial freedom? Partner with us today. Call Yasin Badat Financial Advisory at +27333462071 or visit www.yasinbadat.com. Yasin Badat Financial Advisory, guiding you to financial success.
Make a conscious choice. Sip for change and support Palestine Drinks Africa. With every can, you help end the genocide and stand in solidarity with Palestine. Choose between our original or sugar-free options, available in a case of 24. Every sip is a step towards justice. Every purchase, a powerful message of unity and support for the Palestinian cause. Contact 082-888-1440 or 082-7739-556 today and be part of the change. Palestine Drinks Africa. Sip for change. Liberty for everyone. Abu Huraira narrated that he heard the Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, say, "In black seed there is a healing for every disease except death." Experience the health benefits of this ancient blessed seed by using the Tib Black Seed range. Black seed assists the body to boost immunity, regulate blood sugar levels, reduce inflammation, and act as a potent antioxidant. Experience a holistic approach to health by introducing the Tib Black Seed range into your routine. Available in capsules, pure cold-pressed oil, and a vapor rub. Trust Tib Health Sciences for quality black seed products. For more information, visit blackseed.co.za. Available at leading pharmacies.
Hey Gulam.
Yeah?
Did I return your lawnmower last month?
No, bhai, you didn't.
Oh no. Now what'll I do? I wanted to borrow it again, man.
With Randry Jewelers, you won't have to borrow or lend because the prices are so well trimmed on all gold and diamond jewelry. Alternatively, we could remake your old jewelry into a brilliant new design. Visit Randry Jewelers at 151 Stevens Lamini Road, Musgrave, Durban. Randry Jewelers, the family name you can trust.
Rejuvenating media day by day. This is Salam Media.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back. It is 11:15 and we are talking with Mohammed Amien Minty. He is the chairman of the Fordswick Muslim Youth Organization. And I must say, I didn't realize that this is the same organization that has been active that many, for that many years. We're talking from 1959. I did know the late Mr. Laher and the people involved in the organization way back then. I kind of assumed FMYO was a relatively new organization. Didn't realize it's the same organization with just new people on board. And I guess that evolution will happen naturally, will it not?
Yes, it will. Definitely it will happen. Evolution will happen.
And that's why when I see the new names and new faces, I just assumed it was a new organization. But you guys are doing sterling work. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from one and all, inshallah. Now, you spoke about the burial fees pegged at 6,500 Rand per janaza, so to speak.
Yes.
People may seem, and I know that a couple of years ago, we had some friends. It was a horrific car accident, and I think about four members of that family had passed away, and they were just a very ordinary working class family. And we reached out to FMYO and explained the situation, and they actually carried out all of the services free of charge. I think there might have been a very minimal amount that was, that needed to be paid, and I was so amazed that you guys could have done, could offer that to people, the poorest of the poor, or where families are unable to afford even just 6,500 rand per janaza.
Actually, let me just put that into perspective. What happens is if a person cannot afford it, then it is done free of charge. Okay, we have funds, we have donors that does give us money where we can do those janazas free of charge where a family can't afford it. Okay, so wherever the family can't afford it, we don't expect 1 cent from that family.
So thank you indeed, because that was my experience, and I'm talking 10 years ago maybe. And if I'm going back that far, then the other point I need to also make is I remember back then the burial fees was 6,500 rand, and it's still only 6,500 rand.
You're
And
right.
we know with inflation, etc., it should have gone up. And yet you've managed to keep it as low as you possibly can. How do you manage that?
Look, it's very, very difficult. At the moment, I'll be honest with you, we need funds. If we do not get funds, to look after the cemetery is going to be impossible. Okay, I'm being honest. In fact, 2 weeks ago, I said to the committee members, if we don't get money, I can't go every day and ask certain people to give me money to run the cemetery because it is just not there. I think people need to come to the party, and we need to make sure that this organization and the cemeteries are run the way they should be run, and there's enough money left, even when I'm gone, one day, inshallah, when I'm also gone to Allah, and that happens. And there is money for everybody, including you and me. So this has to be put into place. We can't just leave this behind for somebody else to do. And I think that's the most important thing. And that is what I'm trying to achieve as an organization and with all my members, that we can get this debit order going. And if we can get this going, inshallah, whole of Johannesburg will be quite, I think the cemeteries will be in a good place of space. It will be good to have all this done before we leave. Let's put it that way.
200 rand per family is absolutely doable per month. And I reckon we have way above 5,000 Muslim families living in the Greater Johannesburg area. So it is achievable. How do you plan to get this out into the public spaces? Obviously, through the social media platforms, one of the best ways to get a message out far and wide. But I think more than that, we need to get the local masajids involved with
That's what,
this fundraisers. Well, it's not a fundraiser, but the debit order system going.
Julie, the problem is, yes, we are starting to target social media. We're targeting the masjids. We've asked the imams to start speaking about this so that we can get a debit order. I just like to put something. A lot of people want to give money. They don't want to sign a debit order. I prefer a debit order. I'll tell you why. Because tomorrow, when you're not there, your children will keep on giving the 200 rands or even more. But the problem is, if you give me money, I need to go back every month and find money from you or every year. And that becomes a mission. This way, we know exactly how much we're going to be getting every month and we can plan. And that's very important. That's the reason I've said if I can get a 200 rand debit order from 5,000 people, it's great. It's really great. It will make a big difference. And we need the media, we need people like you to talk about this and get people to actually give us the 200 rands a month. And it will help, inshallah. If we can get that, with Allah's help, I promise you, will go far, it will go a long way for us as Muslims in Johannesburg. And I'm sure a lot of other people in a lot of other towns will start doing the same thing. I can't hear you, Julie. Julie, I can't hear you.
You
I don't
still
know if
not
you can hear me. Hello?
I can hear you. I can hear you loudly and
Okay, I
clearly.
can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Sorry about that. As I was saying, it's absolutely doable. You and I and everyone. I kind of think of our community. We live the good life, alhamdulillah. And at least two or three, all right, at least once a week, we all indulge in takeouts and we go out to restaurants, etc. And it costs a lot of money. So if you buy a burger and a packet of chips and a drink, that is almost 200 Rand. And that's for one person. So it is doable. Our community needs to commit, and let's make this happen, inshallah. I want to come back to the issue about reusing the cupboards. You indicated that
Okay,
after a year.
can I just come in there? I want to give you a little background. First of all, the grave that is there, late Musa Leher put that into place and we've carried that on. It's family that can be buried in the same grave, okay? Not like a lot of other places where any Muslim can be buried. We have family, so basically any person of the family can be buried in that grave. Nuclear, the reason why nuclear we only say 4 is because in the old days we never went so deep as far as when we dug the graves, okay? But at West Park, late Musa Leher did that, not me or anybody else. He said that we should dig the graves much deeper. Maybe Allah had seen something in him and told him to do this, but it's something that was wise. And today when we look at it, it was really great what he has done. By going much deeper, we go very deep into West Park. And I would say even, inshallah, I think even up to 9 people would be able to be buried in West Park, okay? So that's one of the reasons that West Park, we say we can do a lot more mayyats than what we can do in nuclear.
Subhanallah.
In nuclear, we have done 3 already.
Okay.
And we see from that, there is definitely we can do 4 in nuclear.
All right. I know of families in my circle where whenever somebody passes on, they rebury in the graves of their parents or grandparents or uncles and aunts. So this is, I do know for a fact that is happening at nuclear. But I'd heard that there was a restriction or a waiting period. You can't bury after 5 years or something. I think I picked that up from Joburg City Council. And you telling me that you can rebury after a year. Joburg City Council at the time had indicated to me because of health regulations, health issues, etc. What has changed that you are indicating after a year?
It's been changed from Johannesburg, from the cemeteries. You can bury after 1 year. In fact, the Christians, last week Saturday, I saw the Christians reburying in West Park. The first time I saw that happening, when there was a reburial. And Johannesburg City is definitely encouraging everybody to do reburials, okay? And in fact, in the Muslims, we lead us in that respect that we've been doing that for years. I mean, in nuclear, we've reburied about 1,000 people now, up to now.
Okay. Subhanallah. What sort of permission is required? So when you are informed that somebody has passed away and they want to rebury the person in a family grave, is there lots of permission and necessary paperwork that needs to be done for that action to go ahead?
But basically, not paperwork from a council point of view, but paperwork for us that the family agrees to do that. The family basically that, that we get permission from the elders in the family that that person can be buried into that grave. Just that we don't have a fight on the day of the mayat that somebody comes and says, you know what, you're not supposed to use my father's grave or my mother's grave. So we just basically make sure that all that is in place.
I must tell you that my husband and I have already had this discussion, and we've spoken about, whom I've indicated I'd like to be buried in my mother's grave in nuclear, and I think it's important that we have these discussions. And I'm also going to go a step further in closing and ask you, do you believe that this would be necessary to perhaps put in your will as well, just to circumvent issues in the family regarding reburials?
Well, I think that's important that you put it in your will, but more important is that this is discussed with the family prior to this happening so that we don't have arguments. We've had problems in times back where families have fights, and the son wants to be buried in the father's grave, and the other brother says, no, you can't be buried in my father's grave. I mean, it's sad, but it has happened. And I think you're right. We should iron out all this prior to somebody passing away, and so that everybody knows where we're going to.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to wrap up now. Is there anything else of importance that you'd like to share with our viewers and listeners? And stressing the fact that we need to now get into motion regarding the 200 Rand per month debit order towards this burial situation with FMYO. You will give us the details. We'll post it on our website as well. But having said that, is there anything else that we need to know regarding reburials and shortage of space at the Kabristans?
Look, you know what? We need to use the new cemeteries that the city gives us, because if we don't use the new cemeteries, even elephants contain, we should basically use that cemetery. Because if we don't, and if everybody just goes to Lanesia, they're going to take sections away from us for the Christians. And that is very important. People got to understand that as soon as they give us a cemetery, we need to start using that cemetery. Because if we don't, I promise you, the Christians come and they say, we're not using the cemetery, so they take the piece of ground away from us. And it has happened before. So,
And
if we do
can I
the
come in
cemetery,
here,
we will use it.
Mohammed?
Yes.
The reburials is not going to address the situation of a shortage of burial space. It will, to a point, assist us, but we do need newer cemeteries. And you're indicating that there are these new cemeteries. Where are they? And shouldn't we then ask our communities that live close to those new cemetery sites, like the people in Sandton and the northern suburbs, they should start burying in those areas?
Julie, you're quite right. You're 100% right. We should be using cemeteries where we live, but it doesn't happen. And the problem is, as a Muslim, if I tell somebody from Indonesia, you can't come and you can't be buried in West Park, it just becomes a big problem, okay? So, we've left that open. It's a gray area, but we've left it open. But you're quite right. That should be happening. And even City Parks wants that to happen. And Allendale, yes, Allendale, we are busy. I'm sure within a month's time, we will be going into Allendale. And we're going to try and start Allendale so that we can start budding there. Okay, so that we can start using, you're right, we should be using the northern suburbs for Allendale, we should be, and Diepsloot for the other side of Johannesburg, we should use Diepsloot as well. But we won't have a choice. I'll be honest with you. We're not going to have a choice, because it is going to happen, because you're going to be buried somewhere. And that's going to be
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's where we're going to leave it. The details for people wanting to fill in the debit orders,
I will
what is the
send that to
suggestion?
you. I will send that to you. You can put it onto your website. And
I'm
all the
sure it's
details
on
will
your
be-
website as well.
Yes, it's on our website as well.
Anything else in closing?
Jazakallah, thank you very much for hosting me and for hosting FMYO. Inshallah, with your help, I'm sure we should get there.
Ameen, thumma ameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of your people's efforts. Everyone at FMYO, you guys do sterling work. And it's unbelievable that each and every one of you are full-time volunteers. Allah accept from you and be with you every step of the way. Shukran very much. Go well, and assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum salam. Jazakallah.
That was Mohammed Amien Minty, chairman of the Fordsburg Muslim Youth Organization. And we do apologize for the poor sound quality, but we'll blame it on the internet. What else can I say? It is 11:31. This is the Mid-Morning Talk Show. We're moving along, and do stand by. Our next interview is with... let us see, Knowing Your Child, and this is with Islamic Care Line. Please do keep us company throughout the show. There's some very important conversations that are going on right here on the Mid-Morning Talk Show.